Welcome everyone. I'm the end of days 33. You're watching EOD33 Wrestling Hub. This is the WWE EVOLVE review of April 30th, 2025 episode, and we're about to get into the episode right now. So stay tuned. All right, first match is Zayda Steel, the real deal. Zayda Steel. She comes out with her Vanity Project member Bryce Donovan, and then she's gonna be fighting Layla Diggs with her kind of tag team partner Aria Bennett. So this was actually a pretty good match. It was actually kind of long for an opening match, and today's episode is not that long, so we only had a couple matches on it. Basically, this is my first real time really watching Zayda Steel actually do something. I know I've seen her before, but yeah, for this match, like I said, it was like it was a while. It wasn't a short match, but it lasted maybe, I don't know, maybe a good 10 minutes. At the end though, Zayda Steel was a little bit too strong. She finished off with her move called the ZDT, was her finishing move on Layla Diggs. But she basically, I guess this was supposed to be like a Vanity Project night, because in the main event, or co-main event, we're gonna have Harlem Lewis and Keanu Carver versus Swipe Right, which is Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes, aka Zack Morris and A.C. Slater is what I like to call them. So yeah, that was the first match. So let's go on to the second thing on the card, which was, all right, second match of the card was TNT, which was, I always mess up their names, Tyson DuPont and Tyriek. They versed this tag team I've never seen before, Aaron Rourke and Freedom Ramsay. A little flamboyant and everything, but it was okay. It was pretty much a squash match, except for a little bit when Freedom Ramsay got a whole bunch of offense in toward the end. But at the end of the day, it was TNT. If you guys aren't familiar with TNT, they're Wes Lee's group on NXT, the two guys he's usually with. So yeah, basically, yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about the match. It was basically a squash match. So go to the next thing on the card, which was, all right, next match of the card was part of the co-main event, which is Kylie Rae and Wendy Choo. So we'll give you a little backstory. Early when the episode opened up, Kylie Rae, if you remember last week, if you haven't seen it, last week basically what happened was Kylie Rae fought Wendy Choo a couple weeks ago and she wanted a rematch. Wendy Choo responded with a teddy bear in the ring to her friend Zara Zacher. She got the teddy bear, the note said she accepted. Now, it turns out that bear is more than meets the eye. Turns out the bear that she got was Kylie Rae's kid's bear. But Kylie Rae is hot because she said she don't know how she got her son's bear, when she got it, but she just knows it's been missing for a couple weeks, and she's been sleep deprived because her kid's been crying about it for weeks. So Kylie Rae, she's usually bubbly. Think of like Bayley back in the day. But she came out to that ring and she was hot. She was hot. When Choo finally showed up in the ring, and basically both women look like they can't stand each other, and this was a really, really good match. Like I said, the show was only about 45 minutes today, so it wasn't too many matches, but the match they did have was pretty long, except for that squash match. The bear plays a part in the story. So the bear is out there ringside. Kylie Rae is doing her thing. At one point, Wendy Choo gets the bear. Kylie Rae's like, no. Wendy Choo grabs the bear and rips the bear in half right in front of Kylie Rae. Kylie Rae lost her mind. She ended up beating the brakes off of Wendy Choo. But she was so hot, she looked at the broken teddy bear and she didn't go for the pin. She grabs the teddy bear in her hands and she's like crying and blah blah blah. That's when Wendy Choo goes behind her, puts her in the dirt nap, which is basically her finishing move, and choked Kylie Rae out. So basically, Wendy Choo is now 2-0 over Kylie Rae. after all of the chokeout was over with, Wendy Choo grabbed like some, like I guess, lipstick marker. I don't know what it was, but it was black. She drew a frown on Kylie Rae's face and then just laid her down on the mat. So I predict, I don't know if this is going to happen because she is 2-0 against her. So there's really no point to having another match. But what if she's slowly trying to turn Kylie Rae to the dark side? So maybe they become a tag team, possibly. I'm not sure. So, all right, that leads us to the main event of the evening, which is, or was, I'll give you a hint, it's swiping right. So, oh, before we get to the main event of the evening, there was a sit down with Callie Armstrong during the episode with Chewy. Basically, Callie Armstrong basically was talking about how she had the fatal 4-way and now she's like that much closer to finally becoming maybe the first ever Evolve Women's Champion. They haven't exactly announced that yet, but supposedly, well, not supposedly, this is happening. The general manager, Stevie Turner, is having a town hall meeting next week. So we wonder if next week is going to be when they announce the tournament for the men and the women's Evolve Championships. We don't know yet, it's speculation, but there is a town hall next Wednesday on Evolve, and we'll find out what that's supposed to be about. All right, now, the main event of the episode. All right, main event of the episode was Keanu Carver with Harlem Lewis versus Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes, collectively known as Swipe Right, also known as Zack Morris and A.C. Slater. So basically, Keanu comes out first, then Harlem Lewis comes out, then the entire Vandy Project comes out. Support Ricky Smokes and Brad Baylor, collectively known as Swipe Right. I'm not gonna lie, this match went exactly how you thought this match was gonna go when you heard it was gonna be Harlem Lewis and Keanu Carver versus them last week. Not to say it was a bad match or anything like that, but basically all it really was a test of strength. Who was the biggest dog in the yard? Keanu would do a move, Harlem Lewis would try to do the move, or beat him down, I mean. And it was basically to see who was going to beat them down the most. They were blind tagging each other in. That's why I thought they would self-implode. But surprisingly, they did not. Swipe Right proved that they're a good tag team because even though they're getting the brakes beat off of them, at one point they did mount a considerable amount of offense on Harlem Lewis using tag team moves, but not pretty moves, just tagging in and out, just beating him down, holding him down. But Harlem Lewis was too much for him, and in the end, I don't want to say it was a double pin because it was only one legal man in, but basically Harlem Lewis and Keanu Carver did a move, pinned them in the ref 1, 2, 3 with both men pinned to the ground. And that was your match for the evening. Stevie Turner was looking very proud of herself by putting this match together. Then Gallus shows up. They were pressed too, and now they want to fight. So Stevie Turner was all gleeful. It was like, oh, you want to fight Swipe Right? They're like, no, we said we wanted to fight. We want Keanu Carver and Harlem Lewis next week. So it looks like Gallus may be taking on Keanu Carver and Harlem Lewis next week. Now, I know I said I thought they were going to implode this week. They're definitely going to implode next week. There is no way. Gallus, that's a real tag team. Those are grown men. They don't play. So I think what's going to end up happening next week, I think Gallus might end up with the win, or maybe end up with some type of disqualification because Keanu Carver and Harlem Lewis won't be able to get along. But I don't know, they were able to hold it together this week, so we'll see. All right, that's it for Evolve this week. Oh, no, I take that back. It's not all for Evolve this week. Well, technically, yeah, this is all for Evolve. This actually has something to do with NXT. There's a 25-man Battle Royal, and some Evolve members are going to be in that Battle Royal. Like I saw the graphic, Super Sean Legacy is going to be in it. Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes are going to be in it. Timothy Thatcher is going to be in it. For sure, that way on a graphic. If there's anybody else that I'm missing from Evolve, just let me know in the comments. But also, a lot of the Evolve guys have been showing up on NXT, maybe not in a wrestling capacity, like Draco Knox, I believe his name is. was part of the security detail with Stax's segment with Tony D'Angelo. So and speaking of Tony D'Angelo, Luca Crucifino was supposed to be his representative down in EVOLVE, and last week on NXT, the Stax turned on the Don. He called Luca in the middle of nowhere, and Luca's telling him like, how can you do this to the Don? And he says, look, I didn't call you out here for that. And Luca just kind of looked around, realized he's in the middle of the desert, and said, oh. And we don't know if Luca Crucifino's dead or alive right now. We do know Rizzo is in hiding, so the family's in disarray right now. So I thought I'd mention that because it is NXT is EVOLVE adjacent with some of our members. So all right, that's it. Let me know what I did right. Let me know what I did wrong. What do y'all want to see? Leave it in the comments, and I'll see you on next video. Like I always say, I'm EOD33. I hope you all have a good day, good night, and tomorrow. Make sure you stay kind to one another. Make sure you wash your hands. But like I always say, you should have been doing all those things anyway. I will see you all in the next video. I am out.